Hello and welcome or welcome back. For my next Christmas project, believe it or not, I am going to use this skull mould. And I know that might sound weird as a Christmas project, but I'm going to attempt to decorate it in a Christmassy style. I've had this for a while and I had so many Halloween videos. I just never got around to actually wanting to do this because I thought making a skull or a skull shaker would be really predictable for a Halloween project. I want to try different things. At the end of the day, people who like Gothic style skulls and things like that don't mean they don't like Christmas as well. So I thought I would try and make something nice and Christmas gifty for the lovers of Gothic and witchcraft style. So welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all of my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. If you don't necessarily want to subscribe because of this video, you think, yeah, maybe, go and have a look at my back catalogue and see if there's anything else that I've done that you like. I do a mixture of experimental projects. Experimental for me anyway. I'm not Daniel Cooper level experimental. But I do step out of my comfort zone a lot to try different things, as well as do the odd safe thing. So what my idea for this is use Christmas colours, but in this skull mould. So the gold and silver could be skull appropriate, but also I'm thinking Christmas appropriate, silver and gold, you know, glitter, baubles, tinsel. So I'm going to use gold and silver for the face. I'm using Let's Resin metallic powders. I haven't got the box, I've put them into a plastic tub. I'm going to use these powders for the facial features. Then I'm hopefully going to put some sort of more Christmassy decorations around the whole of the skull. So maybe try a bit of scenery, painting. I hesitate to use the word painting. I don't mean actual paints, I mean colouring on with mica powders. But I do want it to be a shaker as well. And I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do that part yet. There's a couple of different methods for doing shakers. So rustic gold, copper, antique gold and bronze. I shall use antique gold.
Skull wrapped in ribbons, black and gold, hollow eyes where secrets unfold, twinkling lights in the hollow dome, a Gothic heart finds its holiday home. Shake it up, shake it slow.
Let's see how that looks. I'm not sure if I'm liking that, whether I should just do the nose itself and not the cavity. No, I think it needs the cavity as well.
Darkness deserves a show.
So I've got this glittery mica powder set. I've had it for years. It's one of the first sets of colourants I bought, I think. And it happens to have a couple of bottles of chunky glitter in. And they look like nice colours, so I'm going to keep them out. And I'm going to use a white. So on the bottom, on the front, on the face. Hopefully it stands out as a little bit more white than silver than it looks at the moment. Or at least comes out a slightly different shade to that metallic anyway, with this not being metallic. Hopefully you'll be able to tell a colour difference on the finished piece. So this is going to be to represent snow, hopefully. I can tell a difference. I'll probably be able to tell even easier in daylight, but because it's night time and I've got my lights on, it's not natural light, it's a bit distorting, but I think I can tell. And for around here, so obviously for there I've used like the jawline, or the jawline and the teeth line as a guide for how high I want it to be. Around here I am going to wing it. snow isn't just in a smooth line all the time. There'll be little bumps here and there where it's either got disturbed or where it's fallen over a rock or whatever. So I'm not being precious about it being straight. That's the maximum height I want it to go to. Let's see, maybe graduate that down a bit more. Gentle. Coffee. Can I, because I'm not the best freehand drawer, can I draw a couple of trees? Oops, let's get in frame for you. If I'm not too successful at this, that's also an excuse for me to try and do more decorating of my pieces afterwards, isn't it? So I could draw trees and things on the finished piece, maybe. I'm just trying to get an idea in my head and see how it would look. To make it look like some snow caught on the branches. Right, I'll have a think about it while I'm dealing with the cats. See you soon. Okay, I have got some stencils and I'm thinking whether to just trace through some of these stencils instead. Ooh, Santa and reindeers, an angel. Ooh, right, I'm liking the idea of that now. Oh, that's a little angel riding the sleigh. I like that. Right, I might have to redo some of the gold, but so be it. Looks like Darth Vader mask, doesn't it? Got my gold back out. I'm not bothered by it being central because I think I'm going to fit a tree on somewhere as well. This is so awkward. Awkward? Awkward.
Christmas frost on bones so cold. Who says the dark can't wear gold?
Right, she'll get the silver back out and make the snow, not the silver, the white. Get the snow to come up to meet the sleigh, as soon as I've done that a bit too high.
A gothic twist on Christmas time, where resin gleams and skulls align, twinkling lights on hollow ice. Even the dark deserves the sky. Inside the skull, the stars will fall, a swirling storm, the gift of all.
That set has got these, and I have got quite a few of these colours that are white in the pot, but they supposedly come out a different colour, and I'm too scared to try them. Well, do you know what? I'm going to try them because I want this to be a colourful project. So I'm going to try this magical blue.
Let the shimmer stay. Who says scars can't feel holiday? A gothic twist on Christmas time.
That's not bad. Don't have to make things difficult for myself. Right. Well, I'm invested now. And if nothing else, I'm enjoying myself.
Twinkling lights on hollow ice. Even the dark deserves the sky.
Right, that is looking pretty good. I'll just finish cleaning up and I'll retouch up these bits on the front. I'll do that off camera. Oh, I better stick that back in for a minute. Alright, okay, let's try and turn this the right way. I'm going to try and use these supports as leverage. I can touch this silver because if I wipe it off, it'll be easy to paint it back on. Oh, right, let's have a look. It's really hard in night, you know, if your artificial lights. Right, I scratched the gold a bit there, and the silver, or the white rather. But it still looks pretty clean. There's not much in the way of colour on places where I didn't want colour, so I just need to touch up little bits. I have checked the mould in daylight and looked that the colourings appear to be okay. I've cleaned up any blank space as best as I could. And also, I needed to protect these pictures. So I've gone ahead and I have given them a bit of a coating with UV resin. And I am now going to insert this cup to make the shaker cavity. Now I am a bit worried. I have seen when I've seen people do this online, it's worked out fine, but I am a bit worried. I want this to be as much shaker as possible because I want it to look like a scenery, a snowy scenery behind the picture. So I do want as much of this to be cavitied as possible, but I don't want to push this down far enough to touch the edges of the mould, because then I'd be worried that resin won't get around the edges and I'll have holes. I also want to ensure that this picture is further encased in resin, but more to the point that it comes across and joins up with the resin that will be on this side, so that it comes out as a whole piece. So bear with me a more, I will mix up some resin and come back to you. Oh no, I'm pulling the pictures away from the mould. Right, I'm going to have to try and distort the mould from this side instead of that side. Right, I'm just going to drizzle this down. Trying to see through here to check that resin is going where I want it to. Okay, it'll be a miracle if I pull this off. Right, I'll just babysit that for a little while, pop bubbles, and I'll come back to you when we're ready to take that cup out. Okay, moment of truth. I am dreading seeing how this has turned out. Okay. This is matte, so this has made this matte. Okay. First of all, I need to trim off some overpour. Hopefully that'll be easy. It might be awkward because I'm having to get in sideways, but let's see. Bend the overpour over and then it'll be easier for me to slice downwards, I think. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a layer of UV resin just to make sure that this is as flat as it can be, because otherwise there's going to be gaps under the acetate unless I fill the gaps with glue, but as soon as I won't be able to see really what I'm doing from the side, I don't think. I'd rather try and fill any gaps now, and also I'm going to rub some UV around inside there to try and make it shiny again. No, I can't, I'm scared. I'm scared of trying to put a flame underneath the curve of the mould. My liquid of choice for a shaker is baby oil, and I have recently heard put your embellishments in the liquid, your chosen liquid, before putting it into the mould, because if you put your pieces into the mould first, they can tend to stick to the sides. If they're in the liquid before they go in, they're already floating around. Okay, so what should we have?
Skull wrapped in ribbons, black and gold. Hollow eyes where secrets unfold. Twinkling lights in the hollow dome. A Gothic heart finds its holiday home. Shake it up, shake it slow. Let the resin snowflakes glow. Underneath the mistletoe, even darkness deserves a show.
I'll use this as a guide, but I'll need to elongate it a bit. Not happy with that, so I'm going to use this as a guide for how to cut the next one, adjusting accordingly. So it was easier to put some tape in, and now I can trace the shape on the tape.
Gingerbread crumbles on velvet cloth.
It goes slightly off the tape there. I'm not messing about putting tiny bits of tape on though, so I'll just have to follow the curve.
A skull that shakes, a heart that quakes, epoxy dreams, UV beams awake.
Right, okay. I've nicked back on just before I'm about to go to bed. I'm going to just quickly do this UV layer, but bring it down for a closer look at how the acetate is sitting on there. So it's nice and smooth at that side, but when I come to these bumps here, there's a risk of leakage, and there is where I cut it a bit too small. If needs be, I'll just have to fill up these holes a bit more. Okay, I've also rubbed a dryer sheet over the acetate to get rid of static. So I'm not going to use just UV resin, I'm going to use UV glue. I'd forgotten I had this, I just found it in a box the other day. I'm going to have to be careful that I don't put so much on that it runs down into the cavity, so I'm going to try and direct it right to the back of the mould.
Xmas frost on bones so cold. Who says the dark can't wear gold? Paint the snow on shadow's face. Holly grows in a haunted space. A Gothic twist on Christmas time, where resin gleams and skulls align. Twinkling lights on hollow ice. Even the dark deserves the skies.
Tomorrow I'm going to do one final layer of UV resin and fully seal all that in before I finish topping up with epoxy. Okay, I have done another layer of UV across the top, and I'm now going to fill it up with epoxy. I have mixed in, because I decided, even though I've put silver around it, I think I might have scratched quite a lot off, but just in case, I've decided to put some bits into the resin to make this look like snowy scenery. In fact, now that I think about it, no, I'm going to say, now that I think about it, I might wipe off this this powder that I'd put on at the start, but I can't because some of it has been protected with UV. So anyway, it'll be what it'll be. So I have mixed in some decorative shred. This is really tiny pieces of whatever it is and some bigger chunks of similar stuff. And I've also put in a bit of crushed crystal.
Inside the skull, the stars will fall.
Right, I shall watch that for a few minutes to pop any bubbles if I see any rise. And then I'm going to put it into the G3. So I shall see you for the final demold. It is demold time. And I'm really nervous because, as I say, it's my first skull. And it's my first shaker other than your small keychains and whatnot. This is my contribution for this week to the Friendship Express collaboration organised by Amy at Resonating Art by Amy M, Susie at Serendipity Resin Creations, Sally at All Aboard Resin Creations, and Tina at Pour Resin with Love. Right, so I'm going to tilt it this way. I know that there is a leak there. There. Yeah, so the awkward issue that I had was because of doing the shaker area up to here where this mould bumps, I didn't get the acetate flat, obviously. So I will plug those holes with some UV glue now. Still pretty happy with it for my first attempt. And as I always say, my execution is not always the best. I have the ideas and I maybe go a little bit, I go out of my comfort zone. Lesson learned, obviously. Most shaker skulls that I've seen, it's kind of this area is the shaker. I only wanted it to go up so high because I wanted it to be like a Christmas scenery behind the pictures that I'd drawn. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have drawn something on. Therefore, I wouldn't have needed the shaker piece to go so high. So the obvious resolution to this is don't have your shaker bit going up to where these where the jawline is. Hopefully, I'll be able to fix it. And I've given an idea to people who have never thought to maybe draw a scenery on the back of their skull before. And so if you can execute the plugging of those holes better than I can, then feel free to try and let me know if you are more successful. And if you have any tips for me. Get cotton buds in here as well to try and make absolutely sure it's dry. Obviously I can't tip it, otherwise I'm going to keep making it leak the other side. Fine. Yay! So it's easily fixed. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the picture. Let's not come off the clearest, the angel particularly. And for some reason, some of the sleigh has rubbed off. I could always paint, and for some reason it seems to have ended up on my thumbnail. I guess I could always paint them back on. If you're not subscribed already, I'd really appreciate it if you do, because even when my projects go wrong, hopefully I've taught you something to avoid so that yours can be better. So I hope that either you learn from a successful project or you learn from my mistakes.
I am back with a voiceover because I'm not in my craft room. It's something that I can do safely in the living room. So using my Artex acrylic markers, I am going to repaint the design on this skull. There's not much really to say, so I shall just let this play out with some music.
Skull wrapped in ribbons, black and gold. Hollow eyes where secrets unfold. Twinkling lights in the hollow dome. A Gothic heart finds its holiday home. Shake it up, shake it slow. Let the resin snowflakes glow. Underneath the mistletoe, even darkness deserves a show. Candy canes crossed like tiny bones. Holly reefs on a shadow throne. Bells that chime with a haunting tone. A merry gift for the heart alone. Who says joy must be bright? Let the night shine tonight. Shake it up, shake it slow. Let the resin snowflakes glow. Underneath the mistletoe, even darkness deserves a show. Gingerbread crumbles on velvet cloth. A batwing bow for your holiday goth. Let the season's magic twine between your hand and mine.
And here I'm just showing you that I have sanded the bottom of the skull and showing you this spray that I used to protect the markers. And finally I make the cork bottom for the work surface protection. I won't bore you with this because I do this the old way. I've found out a new way which I prefer, which we can discuss another time. Hold on a moment for the glamour pics and videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a Merry Christmas and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.